Hey, so decided to do a video. It's gonna be a little off the cuff, but I just decided to go ahead and talk about it now while it's fresh. So today's rainy here, and it's kind of cold, and it's weird. We haven't had a winter like this in a few years. It feels like old winters. It feels like the winters I used to have when I was young. And I don't know, the rain and everything has just got me a little depressed as usual, and thinking about things, and it really made me start to think about the way I felt before I went to see my therapist. The one who eventually encouraged and pretty much convinced me that transition was going to be the answer to my distress. And I was thinking about that today and decided I should take the next step, something I've wanted to do for years, but just couldn't bring myself to do it, is I finally filed a complaint about her with the California Board of Behavioral Science, which is where you file those complaints against therapists. And it was hard doing it. It's weird. And it's also weird to do it so many years after the fact. I mean, I think I'm coming up on 3 years, you know, stopping transition, being off testosterone and just leaving my body alone, just going back to living as myself. And it's 2015 is when I started transition. So it's, you know, that's a long time. And why did it take me so long? Because it's hard to stand up to your abuser. And that therapist was an abuser to me. And not only was she an abuser, she is an authority figure. And when you are with a therapist, and if you're really trying to do work and you're really trying to be honest, you open yourself up to therapists about things that you might not have told your closest family member, you know, or the closest friend, or even my wife. I probably told her things that I had not told my wife. That takes a great amount of vulnerability for anybody, but especially if you're dealing with people like myself who had such a history of abuse and such a history of people that I trusted harming me. It was a perfect storm for me, I feel like, to just be re-victimized again by this therapist. And being an adult too, you know, there's shame around that. There's a lot of shame when you're an adult and you go through this. Because, you know, you hear a lot of other people going, you know, well, you made the decision. You're an adult. You can make these decisions. And it's weird. I spent years feeling very conflicted about that perspective. And at one point, I really did believe that, yeah, I did kind of make this choice. Oh, I really beat myself up about it. Trust me. I mean, I still beat myself up about it. I'll never forgive myself for doing what I did. Ultimately, because I feel like, first of all, where is the choice? Where was the choice for me? Where is the choice for people who are actually going through tremendous distress? And I cannot tell you the amount of distress and just feeling horrible and hating yourself so much and hating your body so much that you want to obliterate it. You want to destroy every cell in your body. I felt that way for years. when you feel that strongly and a therapist comes along, the psychology community comes along, these people who are supposed to help you and you trust, they come along and they tell you, well, you can either transition or not. That's your choice. So either you transition and, you know, science proves this is really helpful. We all think this is the best treatment. And, you know, then you, not only you have them telling you that, you have the community at large telling you this. If you're in the LGBTQIA++ community, like so many of us homosexuals are, you also have a lot of the, not all, but a lot of the community also encouraging this belief system. And then just society at large just is encouraging this belief system that, you know, if you feel like you're in the wrong body, you must be, and you transition and you feel better. You have these therapists telling you, transition, you're going to feel much better. Or don't, and feel the same. What kind of fucking choice is that? What choice was I supposed to make? What choice are we supposed to make? Oh, okay, I'm going to continue to just live with wanting to obliterate myself every day. Wow. No other alternatives offered, by the way. It's not like, well, transition is an option. However, maybe we can talk about this. Have you had extensive therapy for abuse or PTSD, or do you have other diagnoses that might be like making this more of an issue than it needs to be, maybe like ADHD? I was diagnosed with ADHD after I'd already started transitioning. That would have been a huge help to know ahead of time, because a key component of ADHD is hyperfocus and is rumination and almost, I guess, like an OCD type component where you just fixate and you cannot break out of it. Well, it would have been helpful to know that that was part of ADHD, that was part of kind of how my brain works, and that that's not necessarily the best way for me to go about looking at the world, or the best way to manage feelings or anything, but to acknowledge that, hey, my brain's running away with itself a little bit. I need to kind of think logically about this. No, but I didn't have that option. No other option was given to me. Transition or die. That's what they say. If you have a motto that says transition or die, what fucking choice do you think people are going to make? They're going to make the choice to transition. I don't care their age. I don't care their age. I know 60-year-olds who've transitioned. I know men who've transitioned, women who've transitioned, mothers, fathers. It doesn't fucking matter. The mental health community is preying upon scapegoating and being fucking lazy when it comes to the mental health of a huge portion of society. The mental health of those of us who have some discomfort with our bodies, our sex, whatever it is, some to extreme comfort, to extreme discomfort. You know, some people have some discomfort. Some people have it, you know, there is a variation, obviously. Asking no other questions. No other questions. So it's taken me, I just loop around again. It's taken me years to feel mentally okay and stable enough to handle filing a complaint, to even handle even approach. Do you know it's taken me years to even look her up and see her face again? Like, I have a very much of like anger, sadness, rage-filled response to her. Like, I really hate her. I hate her. And maybe some of that hate is misplaced. You know, I can because my main abuser was my mother, a female figure who was in a place of authority, I could see how the therapist situation is going to get more dicey. But I'm sure I'm not the only detransitioner, or even maybe some people who are still transitioned. I'm sure I'm not the only one to feel just really abused by my therapist. So yeah, it takes a long time to stand up to your abuser. I'm sure everybody knows that. But I did. I took a step today. That's good. I don't expect anything will come out of it, really. It wasn't about what's going to come out of it, to be honest. It was about just like me doing that step. It's I guess it's taking back some power. It's standing up for myself. And it is doing something. And that's why it's such a lost feeling to have no justice and no recourse. It's the little bit we have. And I got this, I had thought for years, actually, that I wanted to file something like, but I didn't know where to start. And when you're already overwhelmed with just the very idea of even looking at your therapist's face, like a picture of her, you're not gonna really like want to go down any avenues to really like work through the difficulty of trying to figure out like how to file these complaints, because they don't make it easy, by the way, especially California. But I ran across a blog post that a therapist did. I can't remember her name right now. I think her name's Stephanie. I will link the post so that you can find it. But she basically, you know, she did a really great thing. She basically laid out how you can file complaints, where you can do it. She laid out a template, and she made it much easier to negotiate those things and take that step. So I appreciate that. And I would encourage other detransitioners to do the same if they can, because it's something to stand up to your abuser. And I feel like filing a complaint is doing that.